Hi there. Baseball season everywhere. High school, college, professional, opening day right upon us. My name is Darren Sutton. This is the only show devoted to amateur baseball. This is Perfect Game Weekly, presented by Rawlings. Some great stops this week. First off, Tucson, Arizona. Chase Davis, perfect game All-American a couple of years back. One of the great sluggers on the West Coast. We'll get to know the rebirth of his game because it's a thrilling story. Perfect Game International, growing the game extensively in Europe, several stops, a look at the international rankings, and a really special heart-tugging story about a devoted athlete. We're going road tripping, and we're doing so in the Midwest. Some of the best amateur baseball stories in the heartland of America. And the heartland is where the Kansas City Royals play. And their architect, who took them about a half-decade back to a World Series title, has done it again. Great young players like Bobby Witt and MJ Melendez. We start this show with the president of baseball operations for the Kansas City Royals, Dayton Moore. Dayton, thanks for spending time with us. What a wonderful time of year for you to come into this show to talk about the future, which is the present. We really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it, Darren. Always great to be with you. And you're right. Spring training it's a special time of year, and it's beautiful in the sense that we all share the same dreams and expectations for a great year. You get a chance to mix the young players and the older players, and it just seems like the little boy comes out in everybody. So it's a great time of year, as we all know.
You, your fans, your front office have to be really excited because it likens to 06, 07, and 08 when you brought in the core of what was a World Series and then a World Championship team with, Salvi Perez and Eric Hosmer and Moustakas and Danny Duffy and the late Jordana Ventura. But that was the time. You were new to the Royals then. You're kind of doing it all over again. Can you see the comparisons that people are making with your current group of young stars?
Absolutely. And it's so much fun to take part in the development and the raising of a new generation of Royals baseball players. And, we embrace that. We're proud of that and the work that we're doing. But it's so much fun to be around these young guys. And, I first saw Bobby Witt Jr. play in perfect game. And he was 14 or 15 years old. And he was, as you know, he was the best player on the field then, and he's always been the best player on the field. He's a joy to watch play. He's a legit five-tool player with athleticism and baseball skill to go along with those tools and that athleticism. And he has a mind that supports those tools and gives you a great feel that he's going to continue to grow and get better because of that baseball mind. And MJ's special as well. And I love who he is. I love his heart. I love his competitiveness and his desire to be a great player. He certainly has, all of those intangibles and a left-handed power bat. And you know what, Aaron? He's so athletic. I mean, he can play a lot of different, places on the diamond. And as I've told him and his family, actually, when we drafted him, I envisioned a scenario with him and Salvador Perez on the field together, in the lineup together. We'll see how that goes, but we're preparing MJ right now to possibly play some other spots. And the fact that he's so athletic and he's such a winner and just wants to be a part of the team and help this team win and buy in to bringing a championship back to Kansas City. We're really fortunate to have a player with that ability and also that attitude.
The other bat in that crop of young bats that intrigues me is Nick Prado. He did somewhat of the travel ball scene, but he did just fine at Huntington Beach High School and, had Benji Maduri as his coach. He, too, is another guy that's knocking on your door all the time with his numbers. He, too, you're giving a lot of opportunity in this spring of 2022, and he's taking advantage of it. Nick Prado.
Yeah, he really is. It's been great to watch, Nick's development. And he's somebody that is always pursuing excellence. He's always in the batting cage. He's always working. And what a terrific defender. Nick ranks right up there with some of the elite first basemen in the game today. I mean, to have a first baseman who is that dynamic and that gifted defensively just puts the entire interior defense at ease, puts them in rhythm. And, Nick Prado's presence on the field really contributes in that way.
If I might switch gears, a guy who just went into the Perfect Game Hall of Fame is Zach Grenky. He was a long time ago a World Showcase guy. You, again, were a new general manager of the team as he was exploding and winning a Cy Young Award. And you bring him back to be around all the talented, the Lynch, the Singer, the Kowar, all those talented pitchers. Talk to me about the thought process there. And it seems like he wanted you guys just as badly.
Dan, I will tell you that having Zach Grenky back, the fact that he wanted to return and we wanted him here was really one of the most rewarding things that I've experienced in my career in baseball. I've always admired Zach. I'm so proud of Zach, who he is as a father, who he is as a husband, who he's become as a teammate, how much he cares about this game. I mean, he is as in tune with all aspects of this game as any player that I've been around. He absolutely has a love affair with the game. And I'm just so thankful that he's back with us. He just does so many things. He always has done so many things to help a Major League Baseball team win. And not only is he's great at his preparation, he holds runners, he fields his position, he executes pitches, he studies. And, he's it's just a joy that I'm so happy that he's back with us, really.
I used to love watching as a young man that older Don Sutton help a Bob Welch or a Dave Stewart or a Chuck Finley along the way through his journeys as well. It made me proud as a son, and it's got to be exciting to see what Zach has done. Have an amazing 2022 season. Thanks for your perspective on these young athletes that we've seen come through our world and into your world.
Thank you, Darren. Always great to be with you.
All right. Incredible stuff. Let's stay in the Midwest. When we come back, we're not going to have to go far. We'll gas up the car or plug it in. We're modern here. We're going to go on a road trip. Some of the great stories in the heartland of America. This is Perfect Game Weekly. We're road tripping. We're presented by Rawlings. We welcome you back to Perfect Game Weekly. We're presented by Rawlings each and every week. It's starting to be one of my new, maybe your favorite segment too. Whether you gas up or whether you plug in, no matter how you do it, we're going road tripping and doing so to the heartland of America. Let's start in Stillwater, Oklahoma, where 2021 PG All-American Jackson Holliday is putting on a show early this season. The son of seven-time MLB All-Star Matt Holliday is ranked 21st overall in the class of 2022, but continues to improve. He hit 3 homers in a win over Tulsa Union on Tuesday. Move 20 feet so to Jackson's right. Let's check in on little brother Ethan Holliday. Not so little, though. The number 24 player in the class of 2025 is the starting third baseman for Stillwater as a freshman. In that same game against Tulsa Union on Tuesday, little bro hit 2 homers of his own. Ethan, just like bro Jackson, is an Oklahoma State commit. Speaking of Oklahoma State, Uncle Josh's Cowboys, thanks to an 11-game win streak that was capped off with a sweep of Kansas this past weekend, are all the way up to number 2 in PG's latest rankings. Thompson was named to the preseason All-Big 12 first team, and he's been raking all year long. His average is nearly 400 on the season, and 17 of his 24 RBIs have come in the heart of that 11-game winning streak. Quite a journey, by the way, for the 24-year-old Minnesota native from 2016 PG preseason All-American Central Region to South Dakota State to Palomar Community College to Kentucky, and finally finding it home at Oklahoma State a couple of years ago. What a story. 230 miles northeast to eastern Kansas, we get to check in on another outfielder slash first baseman named Jake. Fort Scott Community College sophomore Jake Skaggs. The lefty bat has been on fire thus far all season long, hitting over 370 with an OPS of nearly 1,300 in his first 25 games. Knock, knock. Who's there? D1 coaches, open your door and take a look at this man. He's ready to help out your club. Go ahead and let him on in. All right, let's go 9 hours or so to the northeast, to Franklin, Indiana. We go for a quick check on a guy that every college coach in America knows all about already. The number 1 player in the 2023 class, Max Clark. Look at this kid. My goodness. As the weather finally starts to warm up in Indiana, he and his mates at Franklin Community have gotten in a couple of intra-squad scrimmages, but the season starts this weekend, and the amateur baseball world is looking forward to seeing the gains made in the weight room and also on the field. This talented center fielder and left-handed pitcher is on display this spring, and we hope a perfect game All-American this summer. You're going to want to get to know Maxwell Clark. When we come back, we're road tripping some more, but we're really going international, hopping on a plane and talking about the best players globally. It's Perfect Game's top 50 internationally and a great story on the back end on Perfect Game Weekly, presented by Rawlings. We welcome you back to Perfect Game Weekly, presented by Rawlings, and we're speaking right away about international baseball. Though, when Jerry Ford founded Perfect Game in 1995, his goal was to take players from the heartland, where we just were, and spread them coast to coast, down to Florida, out to the schools like USC and California. It quickly pulled in Alaska. It quickly pulled in Hawaii. It quickly pulled in the Caribbean, certainly. Just ask Carlos Correa and Francisco Lindor, both Perfect Game alumni. Now, growing the game internationally. For the last half decade, large showcases all around Europe have seen players reach their peak, find their way to the United States, either for a college scholarship or for a chance to play professionally. As we take a look at Perfect Game's top 50, understand that there are some cool countries represented. Growing the game, 9 from the Czech Republic in the top 50, 9 from Italy, 9 from the Netherlands, and peeking our way down the list, Tobias Kiefer's a fun athlete, a right-handed pitcher out of Austria, 6'3", 180. From Spain, Diego Jimenez, up to 91 miles an hour, the other half of the top 10, and 6 countries in the top 10. From Switzerland, Dominic Schiffer, who is a left-handed pitcher. He's committed to Seattle University. And in that 8th spot is Johannes Alexandrov, a young man from Bulgaria who took on the challenge of Perfect Game's World Showcase. He's a catcher, he's an outfielder, he's a pitcher if you need him. He had explosive exit velocity, climbing up into the high 90s, pop time sub-2, and a ton of athleticism. We'll explain his family ties to all sports, but first, here's the story of the bold, the bashing, and the Bulgarian.
I'm Johannes Alexandrov. I'm born in Bulgaria. I live 15 years in Italy and I come here to do the showcase. I fly 16 hours from Rome to here. I come to this showcase because I'm international free agent and maybe I can sign with professional team. I start play baseball at 16 years old. I like hit the ball hard. I play catcher and first base, but I like catcher because Yadier Molina. I watch Yadier Molina sometimes be better.
Molina to second base. This time he got him! Billy Hamilton gunned down by Molina.
I love baseball because it's for me the best sport in the world. In one game, maybe have a 30 million difference plays in one game. Every time is different. My dream is one day play in Major League with my favorite team, Los Angeles Angels, and see Trout and Otani. I'm proud to represent my country, Bulgaria. If I sign, I'm the first guy from Bulgaria sign in professional, and I want another one guy, maybe after 1 year or 2 years, start play baseball in Bulgaria and represent my country. I want to be more guy, start play baseball in Bulgaria because I have a talent.
And now comes the best part of the story. He opted to stay and train in Florida and did so with Carlos Castillo and continued to open eyes as he did at Perfect Game's World Showcase until the Chicago Cubs signed him to a 6-year contract, making him the first ever Bulgarian to sign a contract with a major league club. Incredible part of his journey, and his parents are great athletes as well. I can imagine that they are thrilled. Asen and Svetlana are both international athletes. As a matter of fact, his dad, Bulgarian national team decathlete. Congratulations, Johannes Alexandrov, on his way through Perfect Game to the Chicago Cubs organization. When we come back, another man who's chasing major league dreams. As a matter of fact, Chase Davis was a one-time Perfect Game All-American. He had a lost season along the way. He has found his stroke. We'll go to Tucson, Arizona. We'll get to know Arizona Wildcat slugger Chase Davis. This is Perfect Game Weekly. We're presented by Rawlings. We welcome you back to Perfect Game Weekly, presented by Rawlings. Last week, we hosted this show from Tucson, Arizona, the home of the Arizona Wildcats and their brand new head coach, Chip Hale. Amongst the conversations that we put in the can that we wanted to bring to you was one with Chase Davis. 2019 perfect game All-American who, in his second year of college, didn't feel like that at all. As a matter of fact, he had 7 total hits. He only was allowed 30 total at-bats. This year, he is exploding. He's got more homers than he had hits all last season. He's coming of age, the young man. It comes from great parents, Jamil and Tommy, his mom and his dad. Here is the evolution, starting with the hard times, of Chase Davis. When someone always succeeds, someone's a perfect game All-American as you were, and then you go through some speed bumps. What did you learn about yourself?
I feel like the biggest thing for me, and it was kind of hard to understand at first, but then I was able to pick it up, was just kind of waiting my turn and being patient. As cliche as that sounds, it was super important for me to be able to be the best teammate I could, regardless of if I was playing or not. You know, of course I was used to playing each and every single day, but I think for me, just taking turns and seeing the other guys that were older than me and learning from them and kind of learning how they were doing things and just hearing them talk, I was able to learn more than even just playing on the field. So that kind of first year was big for me to be able to kind of sit out and understand that, you know, it wasn't my turn yet, but my turn was going to come. So I was just super patient, and I was able to overcome the fact that, you know what, I'm not playing every day, but just be the best teammate I could for my team.
You did help so many points along the way last year when you could and when called upon. You guys made a run at one of these. What was this journey like? What was this trip like? You've done big baseball things already, but this is different. What was this like?
Nothing was as huge as this. Nothing was as huge as this. I think this was an experience that, you know, every single player on the team is going to remember for the rest of their life. And it was super unreal to be able to see, you know, all the fans that were supporting us through this process, and to be able to see kind of how it was when we got there to Omaha, and all the lights, the huge stadium, and the great competition we were playing as well. So I think for us, it was just, and for me especially, kind of an eye-opening for how big, you know, of a career that I could have as an individual, but most importantly for these years here I'm at Arizona. So it was unnatural. It was awesome.
The summer of 21, the fall of 22, what grew and developed for you? And where did you evolve the most?
I think mentally in the box and mentally kind of in the outfield as far as playing my position. I think just being able to be a more mature hitter as I got older, kind of coming into college at first, I just wanted to feel like I had to prove something all the time, and that was kind of something I had to get over and kind of mature for. So I understood that people knew what I was capable of, so I just had to be able to trust myself and slow everything down and really take each and every single chance I could to show that I was super mature and taking the game slow, one pitch at a time, and locking in and being more present in the box is something I learned more. So I think just maturing as a person, not even just as a baseball player, but as a person as well, was really important.
How nice do those runs around the bases feel?
They feel like I belong here. I feel like I belong on a team that, you know, I don't have to do everything. You have a whole 1 through 9 is capable of helping the team win, especially with good pitching. So I think just being able to be here and doing the things that I'm doing, it's kind of a check mark as far as confidence and as far as patience and humbleness as well, because I don't get too high up after a good game, but I don't get too down after a bad game. So I'm really trying to find a happy medium. So just doing anything to help my team win is more important than anything I could ask for in this game. So that's what I've been trying to do recently.
How much has your defense grown?
It's grown huge. I think being, I remember a junior year, perfect game, I was able to be in the outfield with all those prospects at the time that are all around the country now. But just kind of learning from those outfielders, and I've learned tips from a whole bunch of major league players and ex-coaches and players that have been there and done that. So I was able to take kind of these outfield tips that I've learned and just apply it to my game each and every single day. And that was super important for me, and it just plays. So.
Yeah, what are you studying, by the way? What's your major?
Spanish and minor communications.
Are you fluent in Spanish?
Yeah, I can speak Spanish, yeah.
Wow.
I learned from my mom. Shout out to my mom.
That's awesome. She was at, where'd she play?
She played at Cornell, and she went to Stanford for her degree.
How about those high academics?
Yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome.
So, wow, guys, I'm married to a Chilean woman, and I don't speak Spanish, and this guy speaks Spanish. I need to invite you for dinner, because when my mother-in-law is there and my wife, you can say, dude, they're talking about you.
Let's do it, man. I'll be able to understand.
I'll
help you out. I'll give you some tips.
You're not going to like what they're saying. What was your PG journey like? I respect the fact you played a lot of baseball elsewhere, but I saw you at Jupiter. I saw you with that Breakthrough Series team. I maybe want to talk about that. I saw you as a PG All-American. You helped us with content like this. What were those experiences like?
It was, now that I look back at it, I think it was very crucial for me and important for me to have in my life, because I learned so much being there, and I learned so much kind of how to be a person and an athlete and how to carry myself. And I always understood that there's always someone watching, so I'm able to, you know, inspire the kids and families that come watch me play, or the team play, or whoever it was. But I think back in those times, I think that was the biggest time for me to grow. and you're growing all the time, but that was times for me to have fun. Not only grow, have fun, but also win and kind of build an understanding for how this game's supposed to be played. So shout out to Breakthrough Series and all those guys at Perfect Game. But I think it was one of the best stretches of time over that 2-year period, 3-year period, where it was just a blast to play every summer and every fall.
Yeah, let's put a cap on it with that Breakthrough Series team, because I loved watching you guys play for that team. You know, all the men at the very top, it's Tony Regans and Del Matthews, but the experienced coaches that took time for all of you. I always kind of zero in on a guy like Marquise Grissom, but there's so many. What was that overall experience? The effort of baseball is to raise the African-American presence in the game. For you, what was the experience like?
For me, it meant a lot, and it meant, it kind of made me reflect on kind of who I was as a person and why we're getting the opportunity we were getting at the time. Of course, it is a goal to be able to kind of, you know, spread a light and give an opportunity to people that maybe aren't as financially set as others that play this game, and their families as well. So I think just playing with a whole bunch of guys on that team that kind of came from the same background as I did, whether it's appearance-wise or morals or religion, whatever it was, we found a way to connect and really vibe and kind of have fun through those tournaments that we played. And it was super important for us to be able to represent who we were as people and the opportunity we got as well.
I love the fact at the end of that conversation that he mentioned through the Breakthrough Series that some of he and his mates were able to connect through faith. You know, the Breakthrough Series doing such amazing things, growing the African-American presence of the game at all levels of baseball. Chase, thank you for your insights. We really appreciate all we learned from you. Certainly learned a lot from Dayton Moore about the way things are going for the brand new Kansas City Royals, and some good insights from him as well. And the great story of the talented Bulgarian Johannes Alexandrov, the first Bulgarian to ever sign a pro contract with an MLB team. My name is Darren Sutton, and if you liked any of this that you are watching on your regional sports network on television, go ahead and find the app on your smart device. It's perfectgame.tv, 24/7, devoted to amateur diamond sports. And until next week, we'll see all of you at the ballpark. This is Perfect Game Weekly, presented by Raw.